So why is this fourth revolution different? Well, first of all, because of velocity. Velocity means the speed at which everything is changes. Well, just for your information, well, we say the first industrial revolution, but that water and steam energy was invented something in late 18th century, so 17 something like 1760. And that span for almost a century because the second revolution, well, it took place in late 19th century. The third revolution, well, it began in late 20th century. So each of these three revolutions, they all span for almost a century. And this what means that what we have now is something that was developed recently. But hey, just imagine what was the change compared to, let's say, the late years of last century when the internet was invented. We got mobile phones, we got Wi-Fi's everywhere, we got blockchain technology, we got Internet of Things. So those things, the magnitude of these things would span for centuries in previous era. So if first and second and third revolution was more or less the same in characteristic and span for almost a century, then the fourth revolution is very different from year to year mostly. So velocity is one of the key characteristics. The second characteristic is the effect. So the effect that this revolution has on our business, on all our activities. Well, let's think about, so what was the effect? Well, first of all, the customer requirement changed because now the customer is able to get access to almost all the information and compare the services and product. The competition has increased and the customer demand has increased. So nobody before would really look at the price list of 100 points to just order a car. They would just buy a car that was invented. But now, if you want to buy a car, you have lots of parameters. So the product is bespoke, and the customers are able to compare the product like this producer or that producer, this service provider or that service provider. And finally, what differs this very revolution from the rest is the scope. So the scope of change, the depth of change is much greater than before, and it's not homogeneous as it was before. What else are the features of the new revolution? What is different? The speed of technological change is very different. Why? Well, you can see for yourself. What we have today is totally different from what we had just 10 years ago. And imagine what's going to be in a century. Cheaper information and communication costs. You can go on the internet and order something from China to Europe, and the transportation cost will be minimal. And there is actually a very nice book which is called The Invention of the Box, which describes how the invention of containers that are used for shipping changed everything. Like before, the shipping was very expensive. That's because half of the product got stolen at the docks when it was loaded on ships. But when they decided that they can just store everything in the container and load containers instead of everything piece by piece, that made the transportation faster and cheaper and safer. And what does it mean? It means that competition has increased because as a supplier, you compete not only with the suppliers in your market, in your area, but you compete with the suppliers almost in each and every country of the world. Well, of course, we talk about something that is not very perishable, like, let's say, fresh milk, but still, the idea is. So another thing is that got very different is the disruption in labor market. So what does it mean? Well, the labor market has changed because now the repetitive tasks are being substituted by the machines, and as such, the labor is required. The labor is not longer considered to be a cost, because that labor that was actually making just cost, that this repetitive task are getting replaced by the machines. But labor today is treated as the source of innovation, of competitiveness. Like, you do not need people to do repetitive tasks, but you need them to tell you how to make these tasks better. And you need less people for your production. And this means that your production becomes safer because your machinery will not go on strikes, will not get sick, and so on. Another thing that is very different is gains in efficiency and productivity that add value to the business. So this revolution allowed us to just gradually increase the efficiency of production. So how much output is created by a unit of labor input. Another issue that is different is technology disrupting industries and supply chains. So this means how business is done. Well, good example here would be some retailers, some marketplaces such as Amazon. Well, before, each and individual retailer would sell their product themselves. But now it is easier, and quite often it's cheaper to use these marketplaces because they can attract more customers to you. They can organize shipment, bulk shipments, and so on. Another issue, another difference is opportunities for new, more agile competitors to challenge existing operations. What does agile mean? Agile means the ability to adapt. And this actually can be seen everywhere. Like, it's all started with production. In 70s of the last century, so in 1970 or something like that, lean production started to take place in Japan. Well, and not only in Japan. So they said that we need to get rid of waste, and we need to produce something only when something is needed to be produced. So only when we make an order from customer, and we need to produce whatever the customer needs, and not try to sell whatever we produce. And in that way, we will be able to increase our competitiveness and decrease costs. So the businesses tried to change the processes so that they are faster, that they create less waste and be more agile, so adapt to customers' requirements more. Another difference is sharing and on-demand economies that create opportunities for individuals to compete in the market, something that is called gig economy. Well, let me just make you an example. Before, a company would create a department, and that department would do some work. But now they can hire individuals for just the time that these individuals are needed. Like, for example, if you're a financial consultant, you can work as a financial consultant alone, not be employed by some other company, and you would come to the client whenever they need something to consult, and you will provide your service, and then you will leave. Or let's say accounting, the company just outsource this accounting function and attract as many accountants as are needed for this period. Like, if we have some audit in place, then maybe we need some more manual work, so we need more accountants. And the company that provides accounting services to us are going to supply us with more labor. And it's going to be more cost effective than to have this department in-house. Greater customer expectations for products and services provided. So as customers are able to compare all the products, all the services, all the product producers and service providers, then they know what to expect. So like they go to the restaurant and they say, not only we expect the food to be healthy, to be tasty, but we also expect the food to lie on the plate pretty so that I can make a nice picture. Why do I expect that? Well, because I've seen examples of such service in some other restaurants. So customers' expectations are getting higher and higher. Opportunities to enhance existing products with digital capabilities. So let's take that example that we already had, a toothbrush. So the toothbrush can track the strength with which you press your toothbrush against the teeth, and it can advise you when you do that with too much strength. So you need to release your power, ease up on your toothbrush. Or, for example, that it needs to get changed. Or, for example, that you need to go for a routine checkup, and so on. So we will add some digital capabilities to the existing products. And finally, increased collaborative innovation between the organizations. So let's say now the producer of, let's say, washing machines and the company that fixes or installs washing machines are going to work together to provide a better service, a better end product for the customer. Or let's say TV producers will cooperate with streaming platforms such as Netflix, for example, or HBO to provide a better service. And finally, what are the other characteristics is employment. So the thing is that these technologies that we have now, they keep constantly changing what are the jobs that are needed, and the jobs are getting changed, and some of them are made redundant. So you do remember that before you needed to have a special person who would type in the text, but now this is actually obsolete. Before, you would need a translator who would translate each and every document that comes to you from abroad, or you would need, like, let's say, accountants with the foreign language. But now, as the documents come in electronic form, and as there are built-in features on translations, then you do not need that many specialists with the foreign language. And as, for example, we have some chatbots, maybe you do not need that many people who would work as consultants, who would work as a help desk for your clients. Another change is the change in natural assets. So technology will improve this asset management by making a better use of them, and as such, this will create a positive impact on the environment. Machine-led manufacturing. So what does it mean? It means that the majority of work is done by the machinery, and people work just as a support for the machinery, because you do need people to, let's say, to maintain the machinery, to, let's say, change the settings, to teach the machinery what to do. But the type of job that they do is constantly changing. Fusion. So all of the systems are getting merged together, and this allows us to fuse technology with the service, with production, and so on. So it's really hard to say, what is this business about? Is it a service business or is it a production business? And finally, artificial intelligence and machine learning. So products will become customized easily and cheaply because we have this technology that allows us to make the changes with fewer cost and with high speed.